So today I wanted to do the meditation. I mean, this whole session today is going to sort of have the theme of impermanence about it. And one thing that on the Google Doc I wrote as a way to sort of link up the chapter that we're reading along with some practice, it's that question when you meditate of who am I? And that comes from primordial sound meditation. And so I don't know, Adriana, if you've done a primordial sound meditation. um, you know, anytime you meditate with mantra, that's primordial sound.
Yep, I have once a long time ago.
Okay. So in this meditation, I'll guide you through a few questions to get into the meditative space, and then there'll be a period of silence in which you'll be repeating a mantra that you would like, and I can give you a mantra, some varieties. If you don't have one, Claire has a personal mantra, and she can choose to repeat that if she wants. I'll probably do that for me, and we do this silently. If you're on mute, of course, you could whisper if you want, but the idea is to do this silently, to take yourself within. In this case, it's not so much about chanting and feeling the vibration as it is going within. So do you want me to offer you a mantra, or do either of you want me to offer a mantra of advice, that's something that you can use, or do you both have one that you'd like to use today?
Yes, I'd love to hear a suggestion.
Okay. Okay, very good. Well, you know what? One that I always fall back on, and it's so sweet to my ears because my kids know it, is Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. And loosely translated, this means the jewel in the lotus, which is supposed to be the lotus that grows within your heart. Om Mani Padme Hum. So that's a little bit long. You can always go with Om. You can say something like, I really felt the Om Mani Padme Hum. So if you want to go with that one, I can remind you of it when it gets to that point. And then, of course, you can think of any mantra. If it ends up just being Om after a little while, that's beautiful, because just like the middle of the word home, I feel like Om takes you home. So that's what you can always default to if you're in a practice. And mudra that I would like to recommend is the Gyan mudra. And so this is kind of like the Om mudra. This is the one, and you can have it face down on your legs or your knees. I actually really love that because it grounds you. It doesn't matter. In my yoga class recently, there were the people straight from India. They live in India. You know, I'm doing these classes on video. They're like, it doesn't matter, you know, this is fine, but for some reason this can feel sometimes a little tight when you're trying to hold your arms this way, even when they're resting on your legs. And this is a more bringing your energy up, so keep that in mind if you're in meditation. Whereas you can rest it down and it sits quite nicely on your knees or your legs, just like that. That's really grounding. And it can really help if your energy is a little bit out there and you want to bring it down. So either way, that's a nice something you can do with your hands, or rest them in a position that feels comfortable. So we'll go ahead and begin. And let's see, Claire, do you want to mute yourself so that we can?
Oh, yeah.
I'll mute myself also, I'll tell you. I'll mute myself also when we go into the silent period, which will sit for about 10 minutes. So I want to warn you about that. There'll be 10 minutes of silent sitting. And I'm timing you. I'll have my little app going on my watch. And then I will come out and I'll probably ring the bell to bring us out of meditation, but do remain with your eyes closed, because we'll do a few more kind of like affirmation type statements, sending of goodwill, sort of meta, this energy at the end. So keep your eyes closed, but the bell is just sort of to remind you that now you can let go of your mantra, let go of the mantra, and just bring yourself into that silent place, and I'll guide you. And then I'll ring the bell 3 times. The 3 ringing of the bells will be a signal that you can rest comfortably until you hear the end of the bells, and then open your eyes. So, all right. So let's go ahead. Bring yourself to a comfortable position. This can be sitting on the floor. This can be sitting on a couch or a chair, or even reclining on a bed, as long as you feel comfortable that you won't fall asleep. Because for this little period of time, we want to have this energy of restful alertness. So this feeling of being available to sensations in your body, available to emotions that come like a wave. They may rise up and they may rise out. They go in and out. Same with your thoughts. And you want to just be sort of open to that space. So that's why we like this restful alertness. So now just go ahead and take some breaths. And I don't want to monitor your breathing. Just do something that makes you feel comfortable. If you were asked to use your breath to relax your heart rate, which I think you ladies here know that that means a little bit slower, maybe a little longer on the exhale. But I don't want it to get to a place where you're really so focused on the breath. Right now, the breath is there and it's always there. And you can always go back to it, whether it's here in the meditation or whether it's in your daily life. The breath is there. It's always there, and you can always go back to it. Let's begin by asking ourselves these. Actually, today we're just going to ask ourselves one of the 4 soul questions. And that one question today is, who am I? And this is a very often intellectual question, meaning our mind gets involved very quickly. And we say, oh, I'm Holly, or I'm a mom, or I'm a female, or something. Maybe you state what you do for a living. I'm going to be a meditation teacher. I'm a meditation teacher. And then go back to the question, who am I? Who am I really? And maybe those initial, very mental answers will fade away. And you'll open to an emotional space. Ah, I feel deeply. Or I'm pretty closed off. I wish I could touch that place of feeling, but something has made me constrict or restrict. And you can allow whatever emotional answer to come up when you ask, who am I? Allow that answer to float in and without judgment, float out on the waves of your emotional tide. Who am I? Who am I really? And part of this landscape may include images of who you once were, maybe when you were younger, maybe just a few years ago. Is that who you are? Maybe the image of who you are now comes up, or the thoughts of how you will look 10 or 20 years into the future. Who is that? Who is that you are becoming? And again, without judgment, allow emotions and sensations to rise and fall. Letting any thoughts like clouds to float across your mental space, in and out. Who am I? And in India, they have a practice, well, a phrase called neti neti, and it is a practice you can take into your meditation. Neti neti means not this, not this. And it really is a way for us to strip away the things that really aren't us, like an onion or something you're peeling away the layers and it gets smaller and smaller until you have this little sort of jewel on the inside, which lines up beautifully with the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum that we'll use in a moment, or any mantra we want to use. Personal mantra that takes us right back to that jewel inside as well. So a practice that you can use, this neti neti practice, is you begin by internally in your mind stating your full name, the full name that you were given at birth, or actually most appropriately right now, the full name that you've taken. Maybe that is your birth name, and maybe that is a change of name. So for example, I would say, I am Holly Holfels. And immediately I think of all the other names that have followed Holly. So for a moment, I'll let you repeat that I am with your full name and just think of those things. But then, like the onion that you're peeling away, like the lotus that you're opening to reach the jewel, let those things, those names fall away, those images of who you are: mother, daughter, sister, partner, whatever comes up, let them all fall away. I am and your name. And in sort of a magical fairy tale manner, imagine that sense of self that you have changing, and you drop the last name and you become I am with your first name. And in that magical, maybe more visual manner, I see myself sort of spinning around, and now I am younger. I'm the younger version of me where last names didn't matter so much. Like youthful little girl. I am Holly. And repeat that name, your name, to yourself. And see that version of you. The version of you that introduced yourself to others on the playground. What's your name? You might have said. And see, as you travel back through time, all the versions that you have been, all the identities you've taken and maybe put away, trying them out as we go through our youth, as we go through our 20s, and as we've gone through our teenage years. And then we go back even more to the time when we are in our mother's womb. And they don't even know yet if we are a girl or a boy or what our name will be. And we just are. And a phrase for that is I am. I am. So repeat just I am to yourself. I am a being of pure light. I am limitless potential. I am love. I am love. Mantras are coming to me all over. There's a mantra for I am, which is a hum. and the beautiful mantra for I am love, which is Aham Trema. You kind of roll that tre. I don't do it very well, but Aham Trema. So let's all in our minds, or if you'd want to out loud, say Aham Trema for a moment. Aham Trema. I am love. Aham Trema. I am love. We are just that light, that being of pure light, and we've pulled back the lotus flowers and we've revealed the jewel inside. So, right now in this space, you can continue with a personal mantra of your choice. You can work with Aham Trema, I am love. Or you can work with Om Mani Padme Hum, the jewel within the lotus. I'm going to go on mute and I will ring the bell once in about 10 minutes, signaling for you to stop, to let your mantra go, to stop repeating the mantra, and just to sit with your eyes closed while we finish the meditation with some metta. So just remain with your eyes closed, sitting comfortably. Allow your mantra to fade away. And we sit in this open space of infinite possibility, this space of calm, open heart, clear mind. And in this space, let us offer some intentions for healthy living. This can be known as metta. And today we're going to say them like affirmations. And they go with the intention to fill your entire body with this affirmation. And then as you repeat it, to send it outward to everyone that you know. And then going beyond them to everyone you don't know, including all those people you don't like or that bother you. But doing so in a really, we're not naming them, we're just sending it out to all sentient beings, all beings. So the first is, and just repeat these statements a few times. Reflective, alert mind. Reflective, alert mind. Reflective, alert mind. A healthy, peaceful body. Healthy, peaceful body. A loving, compassionate heart. A loving, compassionate heart. Lightness of being. Lightness of being. Once again, just breathing these intentions for a happy, healthy way of living, a way of being, into your heart, into you, into all of your cells of your body, and then sending them out for the whole world to share. Breathing them in, sending them out. Feeling yourself, then lighting the world. And just breathe like this for a few more moments until you hear the chimes of the bell. And after the third chime, when you feel comfortable, you can open your eyes and return to our space of sharing. Resume that. So this is where I came when I did my Qigong this morning and I sat down to do this writing practice on impermanence and a little bit impermanence of the body, I guess is where it starts. So it says, who am I? If I close my eyes and open my memory, I see the little girl I was. I watch her grow into the awkwardness of puberty. I feel the lingering emotions from that time of confusing chemical and hormonal influx. I remember so many times I said to my mother, I feel happy and sad at the same time, and I don't know which to be. I still know how to ride a bike, but the legs I use to pedal aren't the same legs that they once were. My cells have died and whole new ones have been born. My bones have grown. My skin has stretched many times over since I learned the art of balance and forward movement. In my late 20s, after more than a decade of riding stationary bikes, I bought a bike to transport me through New York City's streets. I wondered, will my body still recall how to ride? I'm pleased to say it did. And in an instant, I was that little girl again, pedaling fast, cruising faster down the hills, feeling the rush of wind on my skin and the rush of my youth inside. At 40, after my body birthed 3 babies, ran 3 half marathons, and again changed on a cellular level many times over and over, I see distinct changes. No longer do my hands look like they do in my memory. When I look down, I see my mother's hands. And when my hand touches my mother's to hold space for her in her time of grief over losing a second husband, I see my grandmother's hands. Nothing stays the same, but it's not completely different either. In yoga, I'm more flexible, more balanced, more quiet in my mind than I was 20 years ago when my practice began. But as I notice my knees in a forward fold, I see sagging skin starting to drape over the kneecaps, smiling at me as I'm upside down, reminding me of the impermanence of my supple self. The skin on my belly, while flat when I stand, wrinkles and hangs loose in plank, no matter how I struggle to flex and hold it in. I'm reminded of the time that skin was stretched thin with bright blue veins covering a basketball-sized bump. 3 times in 4 years, I watched the miracle of gestation transform my belly, my breasts, my mind, everything. Where is that body now? So I'll just stop there. It feels good to stop there.